We are now at the halfway mark in the preseason. I've got NFL analyst Joe Gavazzi on with us now to discuss his categories for success and failure for teams in the preseason and what it means for week 3. Welcome back, Joe. First category on your list in your article is teams who have won and covered by combined double-digit margin. Then you also cover the opposite of that spectrum with teams who have lost and lost ATS as well in a double-digit margin. Can you break down the teams in these lists for us? Break down your methodology here for us and let us know what's coming up in week 3.
We look to fade teams who have been doing very well and play on teams who have not been doing very well. I want to point out one game in particular that will take place this week, and that's the game between the Dallas Cowboys, who have looked absolutely horrible in preseason by going 0-2 straight up in ATS, against the Minnesota Vikings, who have gone 3-0 straight up and have extended their second-year head coach Zimmer's record in preseason games to a perfect 7-0 straight up. When I first look at the public survey of this game, the Minnesota Vikings were the 95% choice of the public. You know that's wrong. Look for the Dallas Cowboys, who are now down to a 1-point home favorite, to bounce back after their miserable start. Look for Tony Romo to play a little more. Look for all the starters to play more time. And look for the Dallas Cowboys to eliminate Minnesota from the ranks of the unbeaten preseason teams.
All right, now, Joe, you've talked a good bit about the opposite sort of happening this week with the Dallas Cowboys and the Vikings. But are there any teams that you are specifically going to ride for them to keep going in their normal trend, a team that maybe is losing a lot of games, not covering a lot of ground, and you expect them to keep going in that direction? Or the opposite here, where they've been winning a lot of games, covering a lot of ATS, and they will keep going in that trend. Do you see that happening in any of these teams you've listed?
I would not play any momentum games this week. That's very tough to make a play this week on the momentum teams. History is clearly on the side of the letdowns and the bounce backs. Now, once the regular season starts, there are spots where we will play momentum. But the NFL is a contrary league, and as soon as you get that into your mindset, the more successful you'll be in the NFL. Look over this list very carefully. You got to work long and hard before you will follow momentum on these lists this week. That's why we call it the rehearsal reversal.
Expert analyst Joe Gavazzi, thanks again for joining us. And for all the top picks on the preseason going down this weekend, keep it locked right here with us at Sportsbook Review.